All right, let's get going here. So good afternoon. I'm Paul Markle, Executive Director of the Barrie Chamber of Commerce. I'd like to thank you for joining us today for a session on local search marketing, effectively utilizing Google My Business. So before we begin today, I'd like to start with a land acknowledgement. In keeping with Indigenous protocol and building respectful relationships between Indigenous and non-Indigenous peoples in Canada, it's customary to acknowledge the traditional territories and ancestral lands of the Indigenous peoples. The Barrie Chamber acknowledges this sacred land on which we operate. It's been the site of human activity for 15,000 years. This land is the ancestral land of the Wendat and the Anishinaabe, a nation. The treaties that were signed for this particular parcel of land are known as the Williams Treaty, Robinson Superior Treaty number 60, Penetanguishene Purchase number 5, and the Nottawasaga Purchase number 18. We're dedicated to honoring Indigenous history and culture. We also recognize the enduring presence of Indigenous peoples on this land, and we're committed to moving forward, sorry, there's something blocking my screen, in the spirit of reconciliation and respect, miigwech. So improving your organizations or your website organic search ranking can be a daunting task. So we're joining Mintent today in this webinar to learn how to widen the competitive gap by prioritizing Google My Business listing to increase your organization's discoverability. So you're going to learn today the role local search plays in Google, how to claim and optimize your GMB listing, the importance of GMB in your content and SEO strategies, tips and tricks to optimize your listing. And generally, we're just going to have a good time. This is the third in a series, and hopefully we can do more moving forward. But these have been great so far. So I'm really happy to introduce or reintroduce Krista LaRiviere who's the CMO for Mintent. She's been passionate about digital marketing and helping customers navigate it for the last 25 years, having founded and successfully exited 3 digital marketing companies. Krista has been ranked as one of the top female entrepreneurs by Profits W100. She's also been named Barrie's Entrepreneur of the Year and awarded the Women in Business Trailblazer Award by the Barrie Chamber of Commerce. And we're also joined by Jessica Holmes from Mintent as well. And Jessica was with us for our last one. She's a highly creative digital marketing strategist who systematically targets and leverages current social media platforms for her clients. She consistently delivers high quality and results-focused digital marketing content, fostering community engagement aligned with the client's brand strategy. So Jessica's experiential marketing and telecom sales experience develops an authentic and energetic solution-based approach, connecting clients to their customers. So we got about a 30 to 40 minute presentation here. There will be some skill testing questions and a contest that Chris is going to talk about. If you have questions, please put your questions into the Q&A and not into the chat. We'll be watching the Q&A and then sort of curating or managing those questions once we get to the end of the presentation. If you do have any questions, however, for the presenters or anything that's sort of just off the side, then you can use the chat, but please leave the Q&A for questions. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Krista and we're going to get going. Thanks, Krista. Welcome.
Awesome. Thank you, Paul. And thank you for the fantastic introduction. And thank you, everyone, for joining us. I wish I could see your faces. I just feel like I'm presenting to Jessica and Paul, and it would be way more fun if I could see you. And hopefully this is maybe the next presentation we will be in person, and that would just be fantastic. So as Paul mentioned, I've been doing digital marketing for just about forever, and I'm very, very passionate about it. When I'm not doing digital marketing, I am a Kempenfelt Rotarian. I love to read, and I'm a little hobby chicken farmer, and that's how I spend my time. And I'm delighted to be here with Jessica again, who has stepped in at the last minute. Our colleague Raina was supposed to be here, but that's okay. She'll be at the next one. Yeah, delighted to be presenting with Jessica again. She knows her stuff. And I don't know who has control of the slides, but next slide. Who does have, Jessica, do you have control of the slides?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, good stuff. So as Paul sort of gave a high-level overview of why we're here today, and we get asked a lot about Google My Business. And so we really thought it would be helpful to put this content together. And so there's a lot of content, and Jessica is going to be presenting the majority of it. And if you were on our last presentation about Facebook and Instagram, you will get a sense of how much content we actually put into these decks. So just a couple of housekeeping items. Don't worry about taking notes. We will provide this deck to you after the show. It'll come out via email marketing in about a week. So all the content is for you to have. And Jessica is fast and I would say furious, but that's not quite right. Fast and fabulous when she does her presentation. So she'll hit the high level points, but it's important to ask questions along the way. And so we will be having a draw at the end for a Google My Business audit. And it's based on you being interactive and answering questions and asking questions. So we want to see some interactivity and some engagement in the Q&A section, as Paul mentioned, not the chat section. You won't be entered into the draw if you put your question or answer in the chat. And so, yeah, there's lots to learn. I mean, we are always learning about Google My Business too, because as you know, Google loves to change their algorithm and change the way things work, only ever to make things better. So thanks for joining us here today. And maybe next slide. And I think, yeah, so just a little bit about Mintent before we get started, if you're not familiar with us. So we are a digital marketing agency here in Barrie. Our roots are everything digital, and Mintent stands for Marketing with Intent. And we're just a passionate team of digital marketers. And we pride ourselves in bringing clarity and confidence to our clients' digital strategies. We want to get to the answers faster than anybody else can, and the right answers for you and your business and what you're trying to achieve. And we have folks in Barrie and Vancouver, and we just ultimately love what we do and love doing presentations like this. The next slide. And I have a delay on my end because I'm in Oro and my internet just is really horrible. So now I'm finally seeing the next slide. So just a couple of fun facts about Google and Google My Business, right? It's really important. And this is all leading up to why we need to pay attention to GMB or Google My Business. And so a couple of interesting stats here that I still find amazing is that, you know, over the years as things continue to change, Google still has the majority of the search engine market share, right, at 90%. You know, you got to feel sorry for the other search engines out there, but Google is still where it's at. And then point number 3, which is really important, is that 46% of all searches that are done have some kind of local intent to them. So the person at the search box is looking for a local business or a local answer, right? So that's why Google My Business is so important. And then within the actions people take within your Google My Business listing or a Google My Business listing, 56% of folks click on that website button within GMB, and 24% click to call, right? And then 20% are direct searches. So just some behavior on how people are using Google My Business. And then I love the last one, point number 6, 16% of businesses receive more than 100 calls each month from Google My Business. So if your Google My Business isn't optimized and actually set up properly, you could just be completely missing out. So let's go on to the next slide. So those might be some scary facts, not fun facts, depending on where you're at with your Google My Business listing. And so what is it, right? So I've been around long enough to remember when Google My Business was also known as Google Places and Google Local, right? And so it's really, really important. And one of the things that Google takes great pride in is accuracy. And so they want to make sure that information about local businesses is super duper accurate, right? So that they're giving their end users a great experience and getting their end users to the right answers. And so Google My Business is their way of controlling information about businesses. And, you know, you have to feel sorry for other things that came before Google My Business, like Yellow Pages, for example, and they're just, you know, almost irrelevant these days. GMB is really where it's at. And if you could just go to the next slide while I talk through the next paragraph. Google My Business is complex and confusing. If you try to navigate it yourself, like I even find it difficult. Jessica's the expert, she does this stuff all the time, but if you do find it confusing and complex, you're not alone, which is why you're here today. So some of the things that Google My Business can do for you, right, is making sure that you're found first or you're found locally in the top couple of results. Google My Business is free. You do not have to pay for it, so make the most use of it. And you will increase the overall discoverability, I like to say, of your business with your local audience by paying attention to this. And I'll just, before I hand things off to Jessica, I'll just tell a little story about one of our clients who is a local business and a very competitive space that they compete in, and was not doing very well organically in terms of being found. Their business just could not be found organically. And so we came up with a Google My Business strategy for them. And so the Google My Business, that's that section at the top before the other organic rankings where you have your map and you have your reviews and you have your stars. And we were able to get her ranked #1 in Google My Business. Now, it was a longer term strategy, so over 3 and 4 and 5 months, but her business is now first to be found in Google My Business in local search above the regular organic search listing. And it's really impacting her business in a very positive way. So next slide, which I believe is our first question. So get ready to put your answers into the Q&A, okay? So question #1, what is the first word that comes to mind when you think of your organization's Google My Business listing? Is it like, oh my God, I'm gonna pull my hair out? Now it's more than one word, but so describe how you feel about your Google My Business listing. And we'll just give everybody a little bit of time to put their answers in, and then we're going to hand things over to Jessica. Lonely is one of the answers. Underperforming, neglected. Yeah, these are all things that we hear. So you're not alone. And we thank you for joining us today to learn how to maybe change how you feel about your Google My Business listing. So over to Jessica.
Yeah, so it really is all about Google My Business, as Krista mentioned. And you can actually, once you dive in and understand the scope of Google My Business, it's really easy to actually optimize it yourself. We will go over the different sections of Google My Business that we want you to expand on, and that's how you're going to actually increase your SEO reach. And it really gives you so many benefits and goes beyond just acquiring the clicks. You get insights to understand what customers are looking for. You get calls, you have call to actions, you can engage with them with social posts. Like, there's so many different options. So we're going to go through all that. So what are the benefits? Your visibility, reviews definitely help because it's all about word of mouth, and that's how people are telling other people about businesses, is by putting reviews on Google My Business. And as I mentioned, there's insights. So in your Google My Business platform, there's a section similar to like Facebook Insights where you actually understand your market and the views and how many people are searching for you and your engagement rate. And as Krista mentioned, like, it's free. Why not use it? So does Google actually affect your SEO? And it does. So Google's an essential site shows up in your maps, your search results, and of course continues to be Google in second place, and page ranking factor too. So you definitely want to make sure that you have a Google My Business listing and you're optimizing it. And we'll go through those points later in the slides. So should you have a strategy? Absolutely. Google My Business has an immediate effect on your visibility in search. And so Bright Local Study revealed the typical business 49 actions per month. Those actions are either phone calls, news, a search, a view of a post that you've done, a click on your hours. Like, there's many different things that can be considered an action. And regarding posting, you can actually earn a coveted spot in the local 3-pack, which we'll explore in a minute. And that's really imperative for your business to show up there because it's about a general keyword search, and that's how you get a listing in the top 3 businesses. And so the main different search engine ways to get found is through the knowledge panel, the local pack, and the map. So we'll just review those. So obviously the knowledge pack, after you open up your Google My Business account. So GMB is the short form for Google My Business, just in case you noticed me start saying GMB because it's just so long. But I've provided a screenshot here of Mentent's knowledge panel to kind of give you an example. So it shows your cover photo, your actual street photo, and then a map photo, and then just snippets of your business, of your address, hours of operation, your phone number, where you're located, and how many reviews you have. And then the 3 panel that we important. And then Google Maps. So this is connected to your Google My Business. Now, just a side note here, sometimes your business can show up in Google My Business even though you don't have a Google My Business listing. So you want to make sure you actually pair those two. And we do have a link in this deck for steps on how to do that, just in case that is a situation that you've come upon. So how do you set up your Google My Business listing? So the must-haves obviously are having a link to your website, your phone number, up-to-date description of your business, your service locations, and always connecting with your customers through your social media accounts and postings. And here's the link that I was talking about on how to create your page. So if you click on this, once you get the deck, it will actually go through a step-by-step on how to set up your Google My Business page. So the next couple slides are pretty much just a lot of detail. I'm not going to go through them, but it's all the main points of your Google My Business listing when you're setting it up. So regarding the business description, it's really imperative that you make sure that you put all your meat and bones into that, because that's what viewers are looking at when they search for different keywords and your company name comes up. So we usually suggest the first 250 characters have a couple keywords in there and really showcase what your business does. It allows up to 750 characters, which we do suggest you expand on, but make sure there's a paragraph gap between the 250 characters and onward. And then the next part is the categories and subcategories. A lot of users don't understand that you can actually have up to 8 different categories. And by limiting yourself just to one, so like for instance, intent, if we only had digital marketing, we're limiting ourselves because people search for paid ads, social media marketing, website design. So like there's so many more categories that you want to be searched for. So you want to make sure that you actually include those categories into your Google My Business listing. And they actually give you 3,000 different options available, and there's a link there to showcase what options are available. You can also customize your subcategories to help with your search. And so if you're not sure what your competitors are doing, we have here a tool on how to find out what your competitors are using for their categories. So then you can actually figure out what you should be using for your categories, which is a great competitive advantage. Come on, slide. I'm having internet issues now, Krista. This never happens. All right, so service areas and attributes. So service areas, a lot of people think, oh, that's the town I actually do business in. So for instance, Mentent, we're going to just put Barrie, but you're actually limiting yourself because that's not how people search. People usually search like digital marketing around me or in the town of Collingwood. And so we wouldn't show up if we didn't have our service area. So you want to expand your service area to 20 cities or towns around your business that you will or could do business. In our situation, we actually put Ontario as one of the towns slash cities spaces, because we actually can service anyone digitally across Canada and potentially in the future, North America. So then attributes is also really important to actually fill out all of the different attributes here. A lot of users actually miss this part, and these actually help boost your listing in Google My Business, because you actually went and filled out the whole portfolio of your listing. So make sure you fill those out. A lot of people like to know about your safety, health and safety. So that is like, do your staff wear masks? Do you need to book an appointment before showing up? Also, payment options that you offer to your clients. Service and products. So this one's another area that a lot of users actually kind of miss the mark on. And so if it's services that you provide, you actually want to list all your services, and then you can also customize and add more services, which also kind of contribute to your keywords. And then you can actually expand on that and actually fill out descriptions of what that service is, and you can attach prices or starting at, where that actually helps the user really understand the scope of what you provide. And with searches, you'll actually show up and boost your Google My Business listing higher up in the rankings, because let's say they're searching for website design. Well, we're going to show up because we have that as a service. And so we're then going to be pulled up to say like, hey, this business offers that, because it's a service that we've showcased with a price, detailed with a URL, and there's a photo attached to it. So you want to really make sure you actually fill out every single section of your Google My Business for service and products. Now there's also a welcome offer that you can do. For our business, it doesn't make sense, but if it's, let's say it's a clothing store, you can have a welcome offer of 15% for new clients only. And that actually is a draw for people searching for local businesses. Photos, we've provided the different specs that are required for Google My Business for photos. So you want to make sure your photos are actual size, because otherwise they'll get cut off and don't look really professional when users are searching your searching and also viewing your Google My Business profile. Cover photo is very important. That's the big photo behind. You want to make sure it showcases what you're offering. It's vibrant and attractive. Your profile photo is usually your logo. Now there's the section on Google My Business, a lot of businesses don't actually use or utilize, is FAQs. So you want to actually ask these questions and answer them before they're actually asked. So think of questions that you get all the time, put those in to Google My Business. So then you're actually helping clients have answers before they come to you, and you're not bogged down by the same question over and over again. Another point is actually turning on the messaging option with Google My Business. A lot of people don't know about this, but it will actually send you a message directly to your phone or your email to say someone's asked a question. So you don't have to always constantly log in to Google My Business. Oh, I think I went for it. And so you can actually turn off the Q&A feature of Google My Business, so people actually can put questions and answer them. So you always want to be proactive and do it yourself before someone else actually does it for you. And then Google Posts is another way to engage with your audience. So it's similar to a social post on social media channels. You can customize it with your photo, have a call to action, and it actually helps increase traffic to, let's say, a website. If you've created a blog and you want to boost that blog, you can post it to Google My Business to have a backlink to your website. And that just really helps with SEO and just getting the word out and getting the keywords of that blog into the posts. So it kind of all links together. And so there's 3 different types of Google posts. There's a what's new, what's happening in your store, events, if there's a blowout sale or a charity event, or offers that you want to offer people. And just make sure with each post for the text that you actually stay in the amount of characters that are limited by. And then the number of posts that you can have is 10 live posts at once. And they're published in a carousel, a scrolling carousel. Now, one thing to remember is when you post a Google My Business post, it actually expires 7 days later. So you got to make sure that you keep that in mind. And then there's different actions that you can attach to the post, and they're listed there. Now, something that Matent actually does is we do a Google My Business assessment where we go through and look at your Google My Business in detail and what have you done, what you haven't done, and then we suggest options for optimizing your Google My Business based on the assessment and what we're currently looking at. And so one thing to really remember is anyone can actually edit your listing. So make sure you include as much information at the beginning and then maintain it and check it every month to see if there's anything else that you can add, add more photos, do a post, because you don't want other people correcting and then you accepting their corrections and it actually makes your listing incorrect. Another thing is you cannot remove a negative review from your listing. That we get asked all the time. You can only address it and respond to it. I will go on further into the slides. There will be a review section specific to addressing that and reviews in general. Krista.
Awesome, Jessica. Hey, Jessica, do you have your cell phone handy to dial into the meeting so that we have your audio a little bit? It seems fine in the last couple of minutes, but it's choppy in the beginning.
Okay.
So dial in your chat. So I'm gonna do this. You shut your audio off and dial in. Okay. Awesome. Thanks, everyone. Yeah, we're just gonna get Jessica on her cell phone so that her audio is separate. Okay, so here's question number 2. Pretty straightforward, and make sure you put your answers into the Q&A. On a scale of 1 to 5, how would you rate your organization's Google My Business listing, where 5 is perfect? I don't know if I've ever seen a 5. There's always opportunities for more in Google My Business. So yeah, we'd just love to know how you rate yourself. And let me just see here. And there's some great questions coming in too that we will address at the end for sure. And Kara, yeah, put that number 4 answer in the Q&A, not the chat, because we want to get everybody entered into the audit contest. So good stuff. And we'll just wait for Jessica here. And you know, when I listen to Jessica speak, I always learn something too. So it's fantastic. And maybe while we get Jessica just dialed in, if you don't mind, Paul, I'll just answer one of the questions, if that's okay. We see a question here from Dave. I have trouble with asking people to give me Google reviews. Do you have a suggestion on how to approach this? Yeah, it's a tough one, and we get asked all the time, and you have to sort of put yourself out there. But what we find is, you know, starting at least and getting 1 or 2 reviews in is a really great thing. But if you hear a client say something really great, like, oh my God, that was wonderful, and I don't know offhand what type of business you have, if they're giving you a compliment, take that opportunity to ask them. It's like, oh, thank you, you know, will you give me a Google review? So sort of pounce on the opportunities as they present themselves is what we recommend for that sort of ongoing Google My Business. Just sort of always have it in the back of your mind. All right. And I think Jessica's audio is just getting connected here. And we can't hear you just yet. You might have to do *6 to get into the feed.
There we go.
You have to mute your computer. Yep, maybe just mute on your keyboard. And
there we go.
That. There we go.
I'm back.
Awesome. Thanks, Jessica.
That's okay. Sorry about that, guys. There's construction going on the street today, and I did not plan for that. So I'm so sorry. Usually my internet's
That's all right.
stable.
Take it
Okay.
away.
So I'll just dive right in. So Google My Business reviews. Are Google reviews actually important? Believe it or not, they are, because people, when they search for local businesses, they actually look at the reviews. And if you don't have any reviews, they're not sure how reliable you are as a business. They also can show a bad light, unfortunately, if you have only negative reviews or very low star reviews. A lot of people won't actually select you as a business. So it's really important to have a My Google Business review strategy to actually help promote reviews with your customers, to get them to leave reviews, so then it showcases your business in a great light to potential new customers. So how do they affect your local SEO? So reviews actually help people decide which products or services they should buy, which indicates the importance of an online reputation management. Reviews are infiltrated search engine algorithms and impact on search positions for both local ranks and general results. So it's really important that your reviews are positive and ranked high, because it actually affects your SEO. And so they're critical because it represents your customers' confirmation that your business is reputable. So take the time to actually respond to your reviews, if it's positive or negative. So usually we suggest in a 1 week is the maximum amount of time that you respond to a review. The nice thing about Google My Business is they've actually, if you select the messaging option, that you'll actually get an email saying that you got a review. So just make sure that you respond to that in 3 to 5 business days, and to just show that you're an active business participant of Google My Business. And in turn, your customer that actually left the review will feel appreciated and really respect the fact that you took the time to respond to it. So how do you ask for a review? A lot of clients ask us that, and like we come up with strategies, write emails and stuff like that. So we've kind of just combined this into a quick, short couple slides for you to have an idea of how to do this. And it can be as easy as like, hey, can you leave us a review? Here's our URL link to our Google My Business. And there's different ideas on how to actually place your review link. You can do it in your email signature. You can send it out as a review email. We highly suggest you have it on your website, because that also creates a backlink for you. You can text it to customers who opt in to receive text messages. You can also add it to your receipts saying, leave us a review. And please remember to respond to reviews, either negative or positive, because it does affect your overall outlook that customers and potential new customers have on you. And so what do you ask people to write about? So here's a couple suggestions on helping customers kind of have an idea of what to write about for a GMB review. So here's a summary of the Google My Business presentation that we just did. So 5 great reasons for Google My Business is obviously your visibility, ability to attract and interact with customers through posts, and allowing them to leave reviews to comment back to them, and managing your business information so that other people aren't actually taking their edits and actually making them true, and that you're actually managing your GMB account. That is free advertising for your business, and you'll come up in Google search and maps, and then also any posts that you do, and then your insights that Google provides, so you can actually see how people are finding your business and interacting with them, and how many are actually going to your website and asking for directions or calling you. And how do you verify your business listing? We have a link here to help you create your business account, and you want to make sure that you claim it if you haven't. Now, one thing that we've done for some clients, so a lot of people don't know this, that you can actually create a Google My Business with a Google My Business inside of Google My Business. I know that sounds a little complex, but I'll give you an example. So Hudson Bay has, actually, let's do Costco. They have sunglasses and a pharmacy inside their Costco. So you can actually create a Google My Business for the pharmacy, for the the glass shop inside Google My Business for Costco. So we actually help clients do that because it is quite tricky. You actually need to reach out to Google My Business customer service and have it all linked up. It's a bit of a lengthy process, but it's possible. And what's really unique about that is you can actually have different hours set for the different departments inside that business. So a lot of customers don't know that, and the ones that want it don't know how to do it. So we're there to help you through that whole claiming of a new business inside a business. And so then what types of content should I share? So we mentioned the different options of the specials, the offers, the news, and responding to reviews immediately, and adding photos and videos, and making sure you have photos of your business product, your team, the inside and outside of your business, even a 3D video of your storefront, just anything that allows media for possible customers to get really intrigued about and want to come visit you. And then also adjust your map PIM to show exactly where your location is, because sometimes Google My Business maps kind of is off a bit, so make sure you adjust that accordingly. And then tips to optimize your Google My Business profile. So obviously complete your profile. Make sure you fill in all the different categories, the attributes, expand on your services. You want to make sure your business, your GMB profile is fully completed at 100%. And this will help with your local rankings, because then you're showing that you're relevant, that you're actually caring about putting stuff into your business, and how the listing matches with their search for the keywords. You also want to think about distance. How far is your business located from the searcher? And then how reputable is your business? And that's obviously through your reviews. So don't cut back on photos. A lot of our clients say, here's 3 photos. That's all I need. You actually need 3 photos for your outside of your company, 3 photos of the inside of your company, 3 photos at least of your team, 3 photos of how it is at work, in your work environment. So you definitely want to make sure you have a robust catalog. One thing that some of our customers ask is, someone I don't know posted a Google My Business photo to my profile. How do I remove it? Well, if you have the Google My Business claimed, you can actually remove that by flagging it and saying it's inappropriate because it's not a reflection of your business. So like, that's a fun tip that a lot of people don't know they can do. And that goes back to the point that we made before, that people can actually edit your Google My Business profile. So you want to make sure that you're staying on top of it. Another huge thing, as I mentioned, was the attributes and special features. You definitely want to make sure you're always on top of that. They do change every quarter. They'll either add a new attribute or take away an attribute. But if you already filled out that attribute stays on your GMB profile. You want to post updates and special offers or blogs to have a backlink to your website. And then you want to encourage users encourage user-generated content. So that's doing your reviews to get ratings, and that will honestly improve your ranking overall. Krista, you're up.
Jessica. And Paul is back. So, hey, Paul, I see, and Jessica, I see 10 questions and 14 answers to our questions. So we're going to, we'll do the draw, but then we're going to answer the questions. So the number's 24, Jessica. Last time, not really got great at math, but 10 plus 14 is 24. So Jessica's going to this random generator number thingy here, and it's 22. Okay, so number 1 is on, starting at 10. So 22 would be on the answers page, and the 12th person. Who's the 12th person? And it might be an anonymous person. So I don't know what you see there, Paul, it would be the second last question answered.
Okay. Give me a second. The second last?
The second last, yeah.
Was Kathy Steers.
All right. Kathy is our winner of the GMB assessment. So yay, congratulations. And so, yeah, we'll be in touch. We'll get in touch with you, Kathy. So let's move into the Q&A. There's some great questions here.
Yeah, and I think Kathy works for SignEdge across the street from us here. So that's great.
Right.
So yeah, I was clearing the questions out as we went along just to make sure that we were clean in the Q&A. So that's why there's so many in there. And I made these visible so everybody can see the questions that are up. So we'll just start at the top and work down. Most of the questions are varied enough, and it's nice to see all that engagement. So I think it tells you that the content's interesting, doesn't it? Huh?
For sure.
From Sue Card, do you have any suggestions on how to encourage customers or clients to post a review on GMB? I have many who give testimonials on paper or verbally, but I follow with a thank you and include the GMB review link, but few follow through. Incentivize it, maybe?
We have had clients where they're like, how do I do this? And it's like, well, you can have a draw box at your front till saying, did you like your service? Drop a business card and leave a review. And after 2 months, we're going to pull out a business card to win a free service of some sort. Because then you're not actually giving money out to say I'm paying for a review. It's more you're giving away a service.
Right. Yeah. Now,
or product.
Yeah. What about like pre-providing like a list of answers to questions, like how was the service? It was great. I mean, so that it's really simple for them to provide the review. Do the algorithms pick up on the fact that it's generic, or are they looking for like unique content? Does that make them happier?
At the end of the day, they're looking for answers. If it's just like 5-star with nothing, that kind of is disregarded. But if it's like, I really enjoyed Paul, he did a great job, like that might be generic, but there was some thought put into writing that sentence.
Writing the question out. Okay.
Yeah.
You don't generally want to have something generic in there, but okay, that makes sense.
Just to add to that too, Paul, we had a scenario where a client of ours had all kinds of testimonials on the website, right? And we just said to her, it's like, you need to reach out to each one of these people again and say, can you move this testimonial over into Google My Business, or can you and it was a 4-month process for her, but she got it done. And Google wants to see the consistency, right? They don't want to see like, bam, all of a sudden there's 20 reviews and then nothing for a year. And it made a huge difference. So there's some legwork to it for sure, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
There's also a plugin that you can add to your website to pull your Google My Business reviews. So then you can show it on a carousel on your website. Because a lot of clients are like, well, I want the reviews on my website. I don't want to like constantly type it up and put it on, and you can actually have it synced up. So just focus on Google My Business, get your reviews there, and you can pull it through.
That's interesting. Is there a way of, maybe not, of going the other way? Like for instance, I mean, at the Chamber, we're doing these Feature Friday videos where we get a video testimonial. The idea will be eventually to parse those out and have them on the website on a reel. We might type them out and put them in this quotes kind of thing, but there's no way to go the other way then, I would imagine. No. Okay.
You can post that video on Google My Business and it will be there as a post, like upload the video, but it wouldn't be attached to your reviews on your Google My Business.
Got that. Okay, interesting. Something we need to think about for sure. I made a bunch of random notes. I'll try to fit those in as we go, just on just different questions sort of popped up. From Patricia, how about when a business sells products on on retail stores nationally?
So
Okay.
in the product section, you can actually create a product catalog and have a photo of the product with the price, the description, with a URL link to your website of that actual product so they could purchase it. Is that what she's asking?
Yeah, I don't know. There's no way of really finding out because they can't answer in, but maybe she can put something. Speed Pro, that's it. Kathy, I'm sorry, I apologize. Maybe they'll put it in the chat. So we just make sure we get the right answer.
You can get in touch with us. You can get in touch with us later, and we'll more fully answer that question for sure.
Perfect. From John Tremp. So where do we find service area and attribute sections?
So when you're on Google My Business, you have the business, the categories, your hours, your URL, then it actually says services. So it's just a little plus sign that you click and then it opens up. Same with attributes. There's a plus sign, you click on it and it opens up, and then you click the ones you want to add to your profile.
Yeah, it's really easy to do. I can remember doing it when with my PI business, but because I had unique services, it was difficult to kind of get the right services on there. You're trying to put in categories where I know that the industry would search with those terms.
Yep.
But Google wouldn't know that, right? So putting unique search terms in sometimes it wouldn't take them. Have they corrected that?
You can you can customize the services for sure. The categories are a little more difficult to customize, but for services and products, you can customize it. And in the deck, we had how to do a competitor analysis of what categories your competitors are doing and the step-by-step how to do that. So then you know, okay, that's what I need to put for my category, or that's the service I need to put.
Right. So you're competing directly.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. How often should I be updating my Google My Business listing?
We suggest going in at least once a month and posting and looking to see if there's any updates that are available through the attributes, or if a user has suggested an edit, then you can decline that edit change. But if it's a review, that's the exception to the rule. If you have a review, you'll get an email notification if you have your message setting on, that then you would want to respond to that review in 3 to 5 business days.
Okay. Now, along the same thread or same line, if you change your location, do you lose your already existing reviews?
No.
No. Okay.
You just go in and change your address.
Okay. And they come with you. All right.
Yeah.
Good.
And then you also want to update your service area, depending if that changed or not.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to read through a question here on the chat side. Can I link my social media channels to my Google page?
No.
No. You need to get them back to your website.
Yes.
And then you can link it. And I think you're trying to sell them stuff on your website anyways. You don't necessarily just want them going to your social media.
Yeah.
Make them work a little bit, right? Good. Business is showing incorrect hours on Google. How can I update this?
So when you go into your Google My Business info page, you actually can edit your hours right there right away.
Yeah. So
there's also a section that you can add hours for when you're closed, which obviously that's very important. So like if it's a holiday that you decide you're not open, make sure you update your Google My Business to showcase that, because believe it or not, a lot of people go to see, oh, are they open? And they'll go on Google to see and may not even go to your website.
Right. So way back when, I mean, I'm not sure they're still doing this, when you made a change on your profile, some of the changes you had to wait for them to send you a card in the mail to finalize it. Is that still part of the process?
That card process is not for changes. It's for claiming a Google My Business profile.
Okay. All right.
So the postcard that Google sends in the mail when you're claiming Google My Business is to verify that the location that you put in is actually correct. So they mail a postcard with a specific code that allows then that user, when they receive the code, to put it into Google My Business to verify that, yes, I received this, and yes, I'm at that location.
Right.
But regarding any changes to your account, like updates, hours and stuff like that, you wouldn't receive a postcard.
No, it's only for those other changes. Okay.
Yeah. But I will note, again, because it's very important, that when you do changes, they may not be shown right away. It can take up to 3 business days for Google to verify. But when you change it, if they have declined to change, it will show up in italics. And at the very top, it will say, do you accept all the changes? You want to review what they are suggesting, because there are times that another user also went in and made a change. And so you don't want to accept all changes. I don't know, does that make sense, Krista?
Yeah, no, it makes sense for me, for sure.
Yeah. Well,
I know that's a little twister, but like, you could do changes, and a random user could make changes and suggestions. And then if you accept all, you could be accepting a stranger's suggestions. So you always want to review it before you push that button.
Right. Yeah, they may add some, inappropriate products onto your Google.
Yeah, they could. Yeah. Totally.
All right, good. Now, what do I do if I get a negative review? Any tips on handling these? We've had this question several times. I mean, I think you answer the question, you don't leave it hanging, and you do the best you can to be honest, and apologize for the issue, not necessarily taking responsibility, just saying, sorry that happened, and you try to correct it. But I think leaving them out there without any kind of response is a bad thing.
Yes, there are a couple tactics. So one tactic is looking at the user's name. And if you, all your clients are actually invoiced out by their name, you can see if that user was actually a client of yours. Mm-hmm. And if they're not, then you can respond saying like, I'm sorry, we don't actually have you in our books. Right. So we'd love to address this issue you have, but we're not sure even where to start. So please reach out to us.
Right.
Another way to address it is like, we're so sorry you had this negative experience. Please reach out to us at this number so we can rectify it and make it better. And sometimes with that response, and they do call you and you figure out a solution, that they'll actually go back and change that review, because that user has that option to do that, or even respond to that response saying, thank you, you've rectified my issue.
Is there any math on what a negative review will do to your like, I mean, is there any kind of a bad review is going to, end up in X number of people not following you kind of thing? Or like, are there any credible numbers to that?
Kind of. So if you have only negative reviews, Google doesn't consider you a reputable source, so they're going to push you further down in the search results.
Right.
But if you have a couple negative reviews, the average searcher, when they look, and let's say if you're only at like 2.5 stars, they may not do business with you because they're like, well, people are only leaving mediocre reviews. I don't think I want to go shopping there or do business with that person. So it would affect the word of mouth in a sense. Right.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to illustrate the importance of actually getting positive reviews, and making sure you stay on top of them, kind of thing. It's a bit of a daunting thing for some people, I would imagine. If posts are only active for 7 days, are they worth the time to write and post? It sounds a little overwhelming to think of doing the work for it to disappear in a week. Can you repost or adjust the end date?
You can definitely repost and reuse content. Obviously, you want to make sure it's relevant to the type of year and the service that you're posting about. One thing that we do for our clients is we create a social channel calendar, and in that we include Google My Business. So we're writing posts for Facebook, but we're tweaking the content to be applicable to Google My Business. So it's not like rewriting all these different posts. It's more like let's tweak it a bit to fit for social media and then Google My Business. And then, as I mentioned before, a really good post is a blog post to your Google My Business.
Yeah. So I like throwing video, like lots of pictures and stuff on way back when on my site, just to kind of illustrate different things. Video, is that still, is that a useful tool in there as well?
Huge.
Huge, right. So if you can get pictures up there, I mean, just think about your services and spread it out. I mean, relatable stuff, maybe it's more about the inner workings of your business, less marketing type stuff. I think all of those things help to make you more relatable and kind of humanize the business a bit. And it certainly can't hurt. Question from Bruce in here. On my GMB listing, it shows 85% complete and that I should add a logo. I have a logo on there. Is there a way to resolve that?
Possibly. So you want to make sure that the specs are actually the specs of the profile photo that Google wants. If it's off, they're saying then it's not complete because you actually haven't done it how they want it. You want to make sure it's high res. And so like we've included all those specs in the deck. So when you get the email, make sure you check it out and then cross-reference to go like, is this photo the exact specs that I need? Do I have the cover photo? Do I have the profile photo? And if it doesn't work, then reach out to us and we can take a quick look.
Yep. Give them a call, Bruce. They'll fix you up.
Yeah.
And from Sam, is there a way to send a link? Is there a way to send a link to send a customer straight to the review page?
Yes. Yes.
Good
so
question.
in Google My Business, the info page. So one side is where you fill all the information. On the right side, you actually, there's a couple hot links there that says share this link for review. So if you click it, a pop-up comes up and it actually gives you the URL that will take the customer directly to your review. And that's the link that we highly suggest you put also on your website for Google My Business icon. So people click it and it'll take them right to the review section.
Right.
And if they don't want to do a review, there's in that pop-up, there's a button for the listing so that they can click directly to see the listing instead of leaving a review.
Oh, okay, that's good. So yeah, I think that's a great question, but really important, obviously, to just make things simple, right? Have a great experience with us today. Please, please click here, kind of a deal. Yeah, good.
Exactly.
And the last question that came up, can you post to GMB through a service like Hootsuite?
Yeah, Hootsuite, no, but Loomly, yes.
So what was the other one?
Loomly, Loomly.
Loomly, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
We use Loomly at Mentent. It's way more responsive in our opinion than Hootsuite. We had some issues with Hootsuite for Instagram dropping off. And so with Loomly, we're not having that issue with Instagram. And then it also helps post directly to Google My Business. There's one other social account that does post to Google My Business. I'm just gapping on what that name is. I'm sorry.
So is Loomly a free scheduler, or is it a pay for service like Hootsuite?
It is. So with Hootsuite, it's free for I think one social account, and Loomly's I'm pretty sure the same. And then there is, depending how many social accounts you have linked, there is a fee associated to it.
Okay, that's interesting. Maybe something to explore for those of us that are listening, Julie. It might be something that will work better with our new site coming up. And that's it for questions. Actually, that was great because I mean there was a lot of really good sort of diverse content in there, and again, easily answered by Jessica and by Krista. So thank you very much for that. Just double checking here. Yeah, Julie says she's always listening. Yeah. So that was we're basically at the end of it. I want to thank you guys. I think the 3 webinars that we did were all kind of unique and interesting, and there's so many different providers out there that you get every time you do one of these, you get a different perspective from somebody. I think like Krista's learning from you, Jessica. I learn every time we go through one of these, and it just makes us stronger business people. And this evolves so fast that if you don't stay on top of it, I think you can be doing things that are actually hurting you. So I would strongly recommend that if you're at a point in your business where you can outsource some of this stuff, it's definitely worthwhile taking a look at somebody to help you with these kinds of things. So with that, I'm going to say in closing, thank you for joining us today and for the work that you're doing to keep your business safe. Thank you for the work you've already done to flatten the curve. I mean, we're in stage 3. Be nice if we could get some staffing out there for a lot of our businesses, but you know what, we're on the right track. So, continue to do the things that you need to keep your employees and your customers safe. One of those things is our rapid screening program that we have here at the Chamber. Gives your employees and customers a bit of peace of mind. They're free. It's an easy session. Kelsey is here. She can answer your questions. Right on our website, click a link. It's 4 steps. And off you go. You can have it all done and set up, ready to go in about 10 minutes. We have a few things up and coming. There's Chamber Chat and Networking this week at noon on the 28th, Wednesday. I won't be at that one. We're going to have Melissa hosting that particular one. I'm actually on holidays this week. So after this, I'm taking a break. This is Barrie Business Award call for nominations. The deadline is August 6th. So please get those in. If you've got a favorite business, maybe a favorite marketing company that's done a great job with webinars, maybe you can nominate one of them. We have a cybersecurity webinar on August 10th, which will be good. That's with Kemptville Imaging Systems. We haven't really touched on that a whole lot, but super, super important subject. I would encourage everyone to come in. And that will be an entertaining one as well, even though it is techie. It won't be dry, I'll tell you for sure. If nothing changes, nothing changes. August 17th at 2 p.m. Is presented in partnership with Making Change. So that's something with regards to EDI. We're obviously taking a step, more of a step into those directions. So that should be a really good webinar with great content. And then we have our golf day, September 14th at Samoro Golf Center. And again, it'll be a fun day. The pricing this year is very reasonable. $500 gets you a foursome, a hole sign, passports, and every golfer gets a free drink this year. So it's pretty cheap. It won't be a shotgun start. It's going to be tea time. So it's business friendly, but there will be some socially acceptable drinking, networking, pop, of course, in the tent afterwards. So if we time the foursomes right, you should be able to do some face-to-face networking, which will be great. And we are looking for prizes for the auction. So if you've got something that you want to put up as an auction prize, we would be happy to accept that. And we still have sponsorship opportunities available. Again, all very reasonable. We can send you one of these sheets with all of the opportunities there, should you want to get involved with the golf tournament. So thanks very much. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll see you next week. Have a great day. Bye-bye.